I think the first thing that comes to our mind is that do we need to rethink about the theories of democracy? I think I've been arguing that. Is it that we are actually seeing a new phase in the world history where the wheel has turned once again to what we call the Greek understanding of democracy? That it's basically a dangerous system where there's a possibility of demagogues taking over. This formal and substantive debate we have seen in India, I think there is something missing link that we have not been able to see. The symptoms that is available in society. And Modi or Trump, do you also think that they are products of the symptoms, the product of the system? For instance, if in your society since last 7-8 years, public lynching is growing, then you will get a leader like Modi, I guess. If the system has really failed at the ground level. So, do we need to rethink about that model of democracy that we worked with? It seems that not only that it has failed at the ground level, but also probably capitalism has abandoned the idea of democracy. That's what is now proved from American elections. The second thing is that I want to know in US how far the president of US has the agency to transform the structure or institution that has been built up so well. I mean, if democratic institutions are so strong, and in our country probably, I think they are not very strong. So anybody coming at the helm of affairs may easily kind of manipulate that. As we can see that how without, I mean, we are shouting that it is illegal, and by all means probably such kind of decisions would have been taken by consulting series of people, which has not been done. So institutions are collapsing. And it may collapse, as it collapsed during Hitler's regime in Germany. Do you also think that a person like Trump, or worse than Trump tomorrow, might actually play with the institutions, democratic institutions in your country? That way. So how much agency does the American president have in terms of playing with the structure? Third is that, do you also think that Obama was the last person who tried to defend the American hegemony? Global American hegemony, and now this is a declaration that the time of the American hegemony is over, as he will be withdrawing from a lot of such places and a lot of such involvements, through which, of course, America was spending a lot of money on them, but probably also establishing as if the peacekeeper of the world. That hegemonic dominance is going to be over with him, and that is what is disturbing the American intelligentsia and the American middle class. But if you look at the critiques of Trump, what is interesting to see is, I have not seen as yet a very powerful critique of his possible policies. Most of the critiques are about his personality. That he's a property dealer, he is a builder, he has no differentiation between the state policy and his own economy. He might use the state for his own growth. Basically, he's a deal-making man. That's what his old biographer says, that he's a deal-making man. So I'm disturbed by that, because I think that should not have been so important unless you use, or you think that psychology is so dominant that he can play with such a big capitalism in a way that he wants. So beyond that critique, I want to see what are the emerging trends in the American economy. If, as you are arguing, that people have been anti-globalization and the marginalization that it has produced, that has produced this kind of politics. In that case, will he be able to really handle that? Will the American system, as the chief executive, Mr. Trump, will be able to handle that? Stiglitz has written something about that, what American economy needs at the moment, and will Trump be able to handle that? So that is another question that one has to ask. Third is the model of leadership that is emerging. I think Ajay is not here. Ajay wrote about similarity between Kejriwal and Modi. Exactly. So it looks like that, as you say, that someone having no problem with ideology, it's the end of ideology of the leader at least. The leader has no ideology, he can move here and there immediately. Telling a lie, it's a post-truth society, people are already saying, there's already post-truth society that a leader is not committed to anything like truth. The truth is a bad word now. Similarly, probably parties are now becoming what you call corporate companies. Like I don't remember any other name from Kejriwal's party except Kejriwal. It's just Kejriwal, Kejriwal, Kejriwal. So you can see everywhere only Kejriwal's photograph. Others are supposed to be subordinates, his Lathai, what you call in Hindi. That's it. Modi also has reduced such a big party into that only. I mean, the rumor is, and I hope it is not correct, that even the finance minister did not know that it was going to happen. So do you think that this is a new model of leadership where the corporate leader, whether it is Tata or his person whom he has removed? No, Mistry. So it's all issues are to be solved between the two. It's not a structure at all. That kind of leadership is going to eat away the idea of the political party that the democracy had. So we will not have a party of the old variety where decisions are taken like that. I remember Sardarji, who first time informed me this thing, that the politics is changing it. And he is a 7th class pass person who runs a big business. He said, you don't know, Professor, politics has already changed. There's no politics from below to top anymore. There's a politics from top to bottom. So everything runs from top to bottom now. Even the money runs from top to bottom. There's no idea of running from, one can explain that. But the idea is that probably the concentration of power in the hands of few in the party, the iron law of oligarchy, has reached to its climax, and which will be dangerous for any democracy at least. The point that you made about anti-enlightenment, do you think this US election is a final nail in the coffin, that the enlightenment project, which has failed almost, and the biggest advocates of enlightenment project probably have been the white male Americans. Even they have rejected that now. And the only few people are left who are at the center, like the University of California, Santa Barbara, very disturbed, having no sleepless nights about it. They are the only defenders of enlightenment politics and enlightenment philosophy. So this is the final collapse of that philosophy. And what we are seeing probably, as Zizek says, that this is the end of time. And this is the final moment of end of time. That from here a new time has to begin. A new time will have to look for new enlightenment. Maybe, like Amir, we go back to the roots of enlightenment and see that which road was closed, and we can try to open that further. But something has to be done like that. The last thing, which I think we are not able to capture, and which social scientists will have to struggle to see, is that probably this is a politics of emotions that's emerging. And we do not know. I mean, as I think that what Modi is doing is transferring the discourse from freedom versus justice to freedom versus security. And security he is converting into a very emotional aspect. And particularly in a country, third world country like India, which had colonial experience not far away in history, that emotion can easily be raised. So there's no truth, everything is emotion. So this is the kind of politics which is emerging in this post-enlightenment phase, which has to be understood and dealt by the social scientists. So probably the new technology of politics also have to be discovered to handle it. Do you think so? Thank you.